Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Stephanie Oki here. Today I'll be showing you how to make a really nice body butter that's just super luxurious, super soft and super fluffy. Now today I'm going to be using three butters. I am using mango butter for the very first time and I've decided to show you guys because I was so thrilled by the consistency of this. I was hitting it, I pinched it, I did everything just to see how much it would yield to my touch, but it was difficult. I used my palette knife there and it was difficult as well. So, this is a really hard butter. You can see just how much I had to navigate to get this out. I have never used mango butter before, so this is my first time. It was so interesting to use. Just seeing this butter, it also had no smell. For some reason I just expected there to be like a little hint of the smell of mango. Now mango butter is one of those butters that people do love after shea butter and cocoa butter. It's like, in my opinion, the third fave, the third most popular, and so I decided to give it a try. So now I'll tell you about how I will be measuring because I get lots of questions, especially on videos of my body butters and body balms, where people ask me, what's the measurements? How much did you use? So I've decided to explain this. I usually talk in percentages when it comes to body butters, and the reason is everybody makes different amounts of their products. So if you're making whatever product you have, just do that bit of math when I tell you the percentage. So in this case, I'm doing about 50% of my hard oils with 50% of my liquid oils, right? So here I am doing, and now I'm gonna actually tell you the quantity. So I did about 100 grams of mango butter, about 100 or so grams. So I wasn't very like strict on the amounts just because it's okay. It's not like soap where you have to make sure everything is exact. So I did about 100 grams of mango butter, 100 grams of cocoa butter, and then maybe about 150 grams of, also maybe 50 grams of, you see, this is why I like to speak in percentages because I did about 25% of both mango butter and cocoa butter, and the other 25% was shea butter. So shea butter had half of the hard oils. Does that make sense? I hope it does. If it doesn't, please ask your questions in the comments. I will answer. So essentially I did, I think, about 50%, 50 grams of mango butter, 50 grams of cocoa butter, and about 150 grams of shea butter. I think that's what I did there because I knew I wasn't super strict with my measurements. Now, the rest of the oils, I actually didn't use too many oils for this. And I'm sorry if my voice sounds weird. I do have a bit of a cold. So now I'm using, this is jojoba oil here. I wanted to use really, really light oils for this. So I chose jojoba oil and safflower oil. And again, if you're wondering, I did about maybe 20% of jojoba or 15% jojoba, and the rest of the 35% was safflower oil. So now I'm adding the safflower oil here. So if you wanted to talk about that in grams, I think I did about 100 grams of, or maybe 50 grams of jojoba, and then I did 200 grams of safflower oil. Now the total amount here, my total body butter was 500 grams. So 500 grams, cut that into, you want 250 to be your liquid oils and you want 250 to be your hard oils. Now, because shea butter is the softest of those oils, you don't want only the hard oil. You don't want the harder butters to be prominent, right? Because that can make your body butter super hard. I wanted this body butter to be very soft and fluffy. Anyway, so I've taken that away. I've melted them down. And now there's another thing I did there that I think you can do differently. You can also melt your hard oils before you add those liquid oils. I don't know why I just forgot and just added everything before I went to melt it down. So now that's also something you can do differently if you want to melt your hard oils first, then add the liquid oils. So now I'm just melting whatever little bits are remaining. And then I'm going to go back and put that back in the fridge. So when this is all melted, I'll put it in the fridge to make it solidify. Now, another thing that I did, so because I'm telling you guys exactly what happened with this body butter, I put this in the fridge and then I brought it out. But on that day, I was super busy. So somehow I didn't get to whipping it until much later. So it came back down to room temperature. And so when I had to whip it, it wasn't whipping in the way that I liked because I needed it to be colder to whip it. So now you can see this is actually room temperature. So it was much softer than it should actually be when you whip it, at least for me. You know, some people might be okay with this. Now, when you whip it and it's kind of soft like this, what happens is it will become creamy, but it will not. It will find it hard to become fluffy unless you have maybe more cocoa butter, more of those harder oils in it. You need it to be a little harder to become fluffy. So I actually shouldn't have waited for it to get back to room temperature. So this is it at room temperature. What I then did here was I added some vitamin E. This is my vitamin E. I just put a few splashes of vitamin E in there, acting as a good antioxidant to help it last longer. And they're not like they stay very long with me anyway. I use body butter so fast. And then this is just my fragrance oil. It's oatmeal, milk, and honey. And it's just so lovely. Now I take it to my mixer and I get to whipping, but obviously there I forgot to raise it up, so I did that and then I started whipping. Now I've decided to show you guys every little thing about the whipping process. It's sped up, yes, so don't be alarmed. It's not going to be a whole waste of your time. I've sped this up, but I want to show you the changes in consistency. So you can see there that it's becoming creamier and creamier. However, it's not getting the fluff that I need. It wasn't getting the fluff that I need. And so at some point, I decided to stop, take it away, put it back in the fridge. You're not going to see that, obviously, but I'm telling you what happened. And then I put it back in the fridge. And I will show you exactly when it became a bit harder. And I brought it back and started to whip again, and then you would start to see the fluff coming up. So now you're just going to see that the color's changing. It's getting more and more creamy, which is still very yummy. Some people just love it creamy like this. They don't care about the fluff, but I like that fluff. I like it when the air gets in and it's super fluffy and it just feels like whipped cream on your skin. So that's one of the best feelings for me when it comes to body butters. I love body butters because they really do nourish your skin. They give your skin, honestly, if you use body butters consistently for a long time. I've used body butters for like at least 4 years consistently, and my skin, you can definitely see it on my skin when you like, I definitely feel like my skin is like gold. It just glows. Talk about self-praise. I am that person. I praise myself. But anyway, did you see me scrape that down there? So here you see, okay, so I think this is where I took it away and brought it back. So now it's harder. Now the fluff is coming up. So I had just taken it away and brought it back and then scraped it down. And then you start to see the fluff really coming out, and then it becomes much more fluffy. I'll let you watch the rest of the fluff process, or the fluffing process, and then you can see what it looks like and the pictures that come out of this. But this is just how to make a body butter. It's actually pretty relatively simple, especially when you use a mixer, but when you use your hands with the hand mixer, it can be a little more daunting. But yeah, it's a really nice, satisfying process, and you end up getting, the best feeling from just doing this. So I'll just let you watch this. Now, once that is done, you could see just what it looks like. I'm taking the mixing thingy, I can't remember, with a whisker or whatever. I'm taking that out and I'm just there touching this, you know, having a feel of what it looks like. You could also see something here that my body butter has more or less doubled in size. That's what you should expect. And I just took a few pictures and decided to show you guys what it looks like. Super creamy, super soft, and super luscious. It just looks so good. So now I'm going to go ahead and start putting it in my container. Remember, this is for personal use. I actually do sell them, but on demand. So if you do want any of these body butters, reach out to me on @creamysuds on Instagram, and I will definitely be sure to make some for you. Bear in mind that, you know, I don't sell my body butters, at least not yet. So I don't actually have things like labels or things like that. They're really just homemade purely for me. I buy containers all the time because it's what I love to do, and so I make them for myself and for my child. I try to keep my ingredients, you know, safe as possible, and just the nicest oils. And when I make for my child, sometimes I don't use fragrance oils, so you can really choose what you want. But this is a really nice body butter that you can make for any member of your family. It's also good for your hair as well. You can use this on your hair. There's nothing that stops you from using it on your hair. So here's how it turned out. Just wanted to show this to you. So if you loved watching this, do make sure to share, subscribe, leave a comment below to let me know what you think, if you're going to be trying this. And I will see you guys on my next video. Just enjoy the pictures that I took here because I love them. Have a great day, everyone. Mwah. Bye.